Hey, come here. You like pro wrestling? We got a little something for you. 2 fans, 3,000 miles away. We each been watching for more than 30 years. Celebrate the art form, the action, the homoeroticism. We ain't rating matches. We ain't analyzing stories. We ain't experts. We just sit down, shut up, and mark out! Hello, everybody! It is the post-holiday, at least post-Christmas, episode of Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out! I'm Blade Daly, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, the greatest Canadian pro wrestling podcaster in the history of Canadian pro wrestling podcast, Joshi G. Joshi G, how the fuck are you? How was the holidays? How are you feeling? Oh, Jesus.
I need to apologize to my husband because I'm not allowed to say that in our home anymore. I overdid it and he finds it really annoying. And it is annoying. That's why I do it. But anyway, so yeah, my holidays have been good. I would say pretty relaxing and quiet. We were a pretty small bunch. Got some nice presents.
What'd you get?
So I got a Breaking Bad building kit. So the RV, right?
Yeah, nice.
So I'm going to try to build that. It's going to take me forever.
Is it like a Lego kit or?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm really excited for that. I got a neck massager. So that was an awesome gift.
A quote-unquote neck massager.
It's not a dildo.
D&D.
D&D. It wasn't a dildo. This is actually for my neck. But yeah, it was good. Ate a lot of food. Played some card games. Saw some of the family. I'm doing pretty good. I like the holidays. How about you? I played.
The holidays were good, kind of small, and that was nice. I got my friend surprised the fuck out of me. So we got together on the day before Christmas Eve. And my friend's really into anime, and I'm not. So I just listen to what anime is he talking a lot about, right? And One Piece is the anime he's talking a lot about. So I got him some cool One Piece stuff and thought I had done pretty good. This son of a bitch shows up with a bag full of stuff, okay? A bag. Individually wrapped boxes. Okay? I have no idea what's in these boxes. I am a wrestling figure collector, okay? There are a few things that are super rare because WWE doesn't have the license to make any more of them. He got me the Road Warriors.
Oh, nice.
Not LOD, not the red shoulder pads, like the NWA Crockett era Road Warriors.
Nice.
He got me the Nasty Boys.
Wow.
And then he got me Demolition with Crush. Any one of those figures in the box is like several $100s, okay?
Yeah.
Now, he got me them opened, which thank God, right? Because like he would have spent $1,000 otherwise. But it blew me away. Those are my holy grail figures that I couldn't buy for myself. And I just was like, well, they'll make them again someday, you know? But I now am in possession of Demolition, the Nasty Boys, and the Road Warriors. So stoked. It was like the biggest surprise humanly possible. And other than that, my gifts were like very adult gifts for once in my life. I got a tea kettle. I was very excited about it.
Yay, I love tea.
Yeah, I got a tea kettle. I've been drinking some tea, you know, Blade Daily, like super manly man drinking tea over here. I got some porch lights. I was very excited about that.
Yeah.
I've finally reached at 44 years old. I'm finally excited about this kind of stuff. And so that was cool too. I got a car vacuum. That's right.
Hey,
that's right.
That's really good stuff. Yeah, I love the car vacuums. Yes.
Well,
so
I am notoriously a slob with my cars. I don't really. Yeah, no, people give me shit about it. So I got a new car a while back, and I'm like, I don't want to do that this time. So use the car vacuum already. Already I used it.
You did it.
I did it. So, Joshi.
Yes.
As excited as I was for the holidays, we got something even more exciting that's about to happen very soon. Are you ready? Are you ready to talk about this? We talked about it a little bit last episode, but we have the full range of the Grappies. That's right. Sit down, shut up, mark out is starting our own yearly tradition where we announce winners of the Grappies. That's the name of the award. Okay, these are very prestigious. The list of winners is very short because no one's ever won one before. However, we are ready to announce the categories, one of which is going to be a surprise to Joshi because I just thought of it. But
what?
We'll name all the other ones first. Okay, we'll name the one you didn't know about first, which is the Owen Hart Memorial 2x Award, which the winner just calls themselves a 2-time Grappie Award winner.
Oh, yeah, we had discussed this.
We briefly discussed it. And I can already announce the winner of that award, which is Owen Hart.
Yes.
So Owen Hart is not just a 2-time Slammy Award winner. He is a 2-time Grappie Award winner as well.
Congrats, Owen.
Add that to his legacy. Owen, we love you, buddy.
We love you.
The remaining categories. The Nana, which is named after the one and only Prince Nana. This award will be awarded to the best wrestling dancer of 2024. You can vote for the best dancer, the first recipient ever of the Nana, shortly. And you can still vote for Prince Nana, okay? So Prince Nana can win this award, and I think he has a pretty strong case. Joshi, your feelings?
I think Prince Nana could win this award. He knows how to dance. I mean, he taught me some moves that I didn't think I'd ever use. So,
right.
Thank you, Prince Nana.
I literally dance to motivate people now. You know,
yeah,
like
me
when
too.
Swerve's like hurt on the outside and Nana starts doing the Swerve dance.
I do too. I mean, it brings people back to life.
It brings people back to life. I go to cemeteries sometimes and do the Nana dance. I've necromanced a few people. Our next award, and this is one I think we can all agree on, this is the greatest name we could have come up with. We have the Nana, sure. Now we have the Tana, which is for best hair in pro wrestling, named after the man with the greatest head of hair of all time in pro wrestling. That's Hiroshi Tanahashi. Joshi, who are a few picks that you feel could take this one this year?
For hair, Kenny Omega. Those beautiful curls.
Guy shows up for one episode of Dynamite and he's getting votes.
It doesn't matter. We're talking about hair here. Okay? You don't need to see hair every week for it to be considered nice, as long as the hair is nice.
All right.
So,
all right.
Jack Perry, he has long curly
yes.
hair. He has very nice hair.
It's true.
Who else? Stylander has pretty cool hair.
Julia Hart.
Yeah, Julia Hart. Mercedes Moné, I love all her wigs.
That's true.
They're all freaking cool.
Shingo Takagi.
Yeah. Shingo Takagi. Tony Storm has nice hair.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Shota Umino has nice hair.
He does. He has a nice head of hair.
Yeah.
The kid has a nice head of hair.
I mean, those are some options.
Takeshita, I think, has to be in the running,
Takeshita has nice hair, too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we got the Nana and we got the Tana.
Yeah.
We also have, Joshi, you should announce this one.
All right. So, we're very excited to announce this one. It is called the Ramon.
The Ramon, baby. Who is more effortlessly cool than Razor Ramon, a.k.a. Scott Hall? This is an award for the person with the most swag. Joshi?
Would you like me to throw some options out there?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Bobby Lashley, of course. I mean, he has so much swag.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just spitting out facts, you know. MVP has a lot of swag. Swerve Strickland.
Mm-hmm.
Mercedes Monet has a lot of swag. Mina Shirakawa, Mariah May has swag. I mean, I could go on and on. There are so many, right? So
there's a lot of
really,
swaggy people out there. That is true.
I mean, obviously, you know, it would be kind of weird if you choose someone like Sanjay Dutt, but I mean,
that would be weird.
That would be weird. So I mean, I wouldn't say just anybody, but
don't vote for Sanjay Dutt.
Yeah,
we will not count those votes. But you have listed an impressive array of people.
Why, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We're also going to vote for the sickest jam of 2024. Who has the best entrance music? Whose music do you swerve when you drive? You know what I mean? We have the One Winged Angel cries, you know?
Yeah. FTR.
Yep, they have great entrance music.
That gets you in the mood. Yeah.
How much do you like that Young Bucks entrance music that they changed to?
The Succession one, yeah.
The Succession one, yeah.
Bang Bang Gang.
Bang! Oh, damn! I know where that's my vote. I'm voting for "Burning Daylight." I believe is the name of that one that they're not using anymore for some reason. But man, I'm voting for that one. There's so many more. So we got that. The next award, this is very prestigious, and it may only be given this 1 year. Okay, it depends on how long the gimmick runs. But we are honored to present the Christian Cage Son of the Year Award. This is our only gendered award, and women can be voted for as well if you felt like they were a good child to their mentor. But, you know, we have some obvious candidates here. Nick Wayne, Kip Sabian, Kill Switch. But there's also Dom Mysterio would be a potential winner of this award, and many others. So who do you feel is the best protege in pro wrestling? Joshi, do you have any other people you'd like to throw out there?
Hook. Taz's boy.
He could be a possible son of the year, and he did give a very loving tribute at Grand Slam this year.
Yeah.
So
Gun Club.
Yeah.
Their father, Billy Gunn. So
yeah.
Some more options for all of you.
That's the Christian Cage Son of the Year Award.
Yes.
We are wishing the best to all the nominees. Then we come to our final two. And Joshi, you and I know how important these are. Okay?
Yeah.
Our next award is the Goddammit Derby, which is basically the scariest spot or bump of the year. You all know why this is named what it is. How many times have you watched a Darby Allin match and gone, God damn it, Darby?
Every single week.
Because he did something so scary and so dangerous. Yeah. You can vote for people besides Darby, but come on, what's the chances of that actually happening? I think Darby is the king right now, but maybe people surprise us. We will abide by the results, whatever they are, Joshi.
Of course.
And finally, our most prestigious award that I honestly have tears in my eyes right now trying to introduce. The Alphonse Capone Memorial Crime of the Year. This is like album of the year for the Grammys, film of the year, movie of the year at the Oscars. This is the most prestigious award we have to give in pro wrestling. AEW is a walking felony. There is crimes committed every week on AEW. There are crimes committed elsewhere in wrestling too. I'm not saying only AEW could win. However, if you're paying attention, I doubt there are any more crimes than in AEW. And there's been some really big ones. Hangman burning Swerve's house to the ground. The Death Riders just kidnapping people.
Suffocating Danielson.
There's been so many crimes committed in broad daylight. Mercedes Monet and Camille trying to kill Chris Statlander with a car. That all happened, and it happened right on TV. Folks, this is the Grappies. I'm Blade Daily. This is Joshi G, and we are so proud to present these. We cannot wait. Next week on social media, we will start rolling out on our socials, on Blue Sky and on Threads. We will start rolling, and Instagram. We will start rolling out the image card so you can read a little more about these very prestigious awards that nobody understands or knows about yet. And you, in the comments, can vote for the winner. All votes will be tabulated in all sections of the internet that we post these on, okay? So you don't have to vote for anyone we suggest. You can vote for whoever you want. We will tabulate those, and this month we will award those lucky enough and deserving enough to be considered for all of the categories that we've mentioned. Joshi, are you excited?
I'm really excited, and I would just like you all to keep in mind that these are very prestigious awards.
Mm-hmm.
These are on the level of the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
So, just take this very seriously. And, the winners of these awards, they're going to get some really huge prizes. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's the Oscars, but I would actually go a slight step further. I'm thinking more Nobel Peace Prize. These are on the same level, okay, as the Nobel Peace Prize. If you want to go a step down, you go to the Oscars, maybe. Yeah, that's the kind of prestige we're talking about. And again, last time, the categories are the Nana, the Tana, the Ramon. God damn it, Darby. Sickest Jam, the Christian Cage Son of the Year, and the Alphonse Gabriel Capone Memorial Crime of the Year. We'll find out who the winner is, but voting starts next week. Make sure you're following us on Threads or Blue Sky or Instagram. Just search for Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out, baby. That's how you do. That's how we do.
The choice is in your hands.
It is. It is. Joshi, are we ready to move forward now that we've unveiled it all? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, now that we've gotten the Grappies out there in the public purview, it's time to talk about something else that was in the public purview, and that was the last week of AEW shows at the historic Hammerstein Ballroom, one of the great wrestling venues in the United States and in the world, with a lot of history. Joshi, this ruled.
Yeah, it did. I love that venue. It's so historical. I mean, when Raw started, it was always there for a while. And so just the vibe of it looks very different from other venues. Like I was telling my husband, this is something that I miss a lot from the 90s. Like when WWF and WCW, they would have their live shows in a much smaller venue. Like if you look at Nitro, for example, their very first episode took place in a mall. How cool is that? I like that concept that the venue feels more underground and you feel like you're a part of something.
Right.
It's exclusive. I've always liked that feeling in professional wrestling. So I've been loving it. I love that there aren't way too many people. Like personally for me, I'm not the biggest fan of wrestling in stadiums, only because it's wrestling. It's supposed to feel intimate. You're supposed to feel like you're a part of the show. And stadiums are just so huge, and and there are a lot of sections where you don't get a good view of the ring itself, right? So to me, that's not really my thing. I know that's something that WWE does. And good for them. They like running these stadium shows. And for Raw and SmackDown, they like selling 10,000 tickets, 20,000 tickets. Cool. Good for them. But to me, that doesn't really matter. So seeing ROH, Dynamite, and Collision all at the Hammerstein was just so neat. They need to do that more. What do you think, Blade?
It felt really special. It felt, one, it was cool to do the holiday shows around there. I did see people say they would like them to make that an annual tradition, which I think could be cool, but WWE does do a huge MSG show, right around Christmas every year. And I don't know that AEW necessarily wants to be compared to that on a yearly basis, but who knows if they will. I thought it was awesome. And I think your point about stadium wrestling is so important. There's this mentality in wrestling, but in culture in general, that bigger is better. And that the most you can have is the best you can have. And the shows with the most fans are the best shows. That's ridiculous. Okay. That's not the way it works. Okay. The album with the most songs is not the best album. Okay. It's the album with the best songs. And so what I liked about these shows was, yes, you could hear the room. Okay. Like when people yelled, like you could kind of feel the reverberation through that area. And I hope that AEW goes and finds more venues that have some kind of historic bent to them, because this felt great to me. And I think you made a really important point that was just kind of on a broader spectrum about this, which is also, look, all sports brag about ticket sales and revenue. AEW does it too when there's a reason to. But WWE honestly kind of takes it to levels that just turn me off. And it's always been that way. It's not just been an AEW WWE thing. Like, it doesn't impress me. Like, when you have no standards for the on-screen product and you're willing to have, someone dressed up as a Slim Jim standing on the outside of the ring, or whatever the Mountain Dew match with Bray Wyatt and LA Knight was, which, by the way, was Bray's last match. Of course you can raise an absurd level of money, but is it good? Is it good? And, AEW has done a few of these kind of sponsored matches as well, and some were okay, like that street fight a year ago that had Kenny the Bucks, Takeshita Hobbs. And some were terrible, like that Texas Chainsaw Massacre one with Jeff Hardy and Jeff Jarrett.
That wasn't good.
That was awful. It was awful. I also think these smaller venues, there's less tickets available, which makes demand higher. And, people have to buy tickets when they go on sale. They can't wait till the last minute and buy a super cheap ass ticket at the last minute, which I think has become a real problem for AEW in these bigger arenas.
Well, that's one thing that I was going to mention, iBlade, is that I feel like when AEW started, they had most of their shows in these smaller venues. And you really wanted to be there because it was new and you wanted to feel like you were a part of the show. And they weren't easy to get. Like, you had to buy them right away or else you weren't going to find any tickets. I feel they needed that back. 2024 was a weird year. Not in terms of the wrestling or anything like that, but because they had booked all the venues in advance, they had booked very big arenas, and there were issues with marketing and stuff like that, and so they weren't sold out and all of that. So the problem was that when a show took place at a really big arena that could fit, I don't know, like 10,000 people or something, and they only sold 5,000 tickets, let's say, you could feel it on TV. And like a quiet crowd, nobody wants that. It hurts the show, So I'm really glad that they decided, okay, let's go back to the smaller venues. That's not a bad thing. Like, going back to smaller venues doesn't mean that you're going out of business or anything super negative. It's just that, okay, WWE is very hot right now. AEW isn't as hot as it was a couple of years ago. It's cooled off. They're not in that position where they could justify really large venues at this point, but that's fine. That's fine. Like, I don't want AEW to feel like WWE. Like, to me, WWE is like Disney World. I'm not interested in that. It's mainstream. I feel like AEW needs to continue to present itself, as gritty, as kind of dark and raw, and like how the Attitude Era felt.
Absolutely.
They need to continue to do that.
as a
Yeah.
counterpoint to the corporatism of WWE, right? Like, I'm just like, I come from a place like I love punk rock. Okay. I love that feel of things being authentic and real. And, you know, one of the things I see sometimes on Twitter is, or not Twitter, I'm sorry, on Threads, is when people share like a video of what WWE is doing and how like cinematic and clean it all looks. And I'm like, that doesn't feel real to me. That just feels like you're trying to make WWE look like a Marvel movie, and I don't want that. And, you know, to speak to one of the points you made, Joshi, somebody shared this on Threads recently, is that in 1994 and 1995, they were taping Raw in literal high school gymnasiums because business was so bad. They had shows that were drawing around 1,000 people. And within 3 years, they were doing the biggest business they've ever done. Okay. Shit changes, but that shouldn't be the basis for whether you like something or don't like something. It's not about being the biggest. Quite frankly, I don't ever want AEW to be as big as WWE. I don't want AEW to be a publicly traded company where they put the title on the guy that they think is going to help a stock price. Fuck that.
Me neither. Exactly that. I don't want that from AEW.
That's why Jinder Mahal got the world title, is they wanted to sell a bunch of tickets in India.
Exactly.
So that the stock price would reflect well on it.
Yeah,
and they didn't, but that was why they did it in the first place. And it was a terrible idea to begin with.
Completely agree with you. Every week there's a wrestler that says this is where the best wrestle, which is true. Focus on that. Keep giving us these amazing matches, some stories, and you're fine. I mean, the Continental Classic has been so strong, and people have been talking about it, and I read an article yesterday that said that the Continental Classic is where you see the best wrestling, and it's true. And it's just, you know, you just need to focus on that, what makes you stand out, you know. So as long as they keep doing that, they'll be fine. I'd say, you know, they need to ignore the naysayers and those that say, oh, well, AEW is just not like WWE, and they don't have as many stories and all of that. It's like, okay, good. You don't want to be like that. That's kind of the point. They've tried that before and it didn't work. I didn't really enjoy it as much when they tried that in 2023. So, you know, just keep focusing on what makes you different and making the baby faces look smart. You know, doing unique things that WWE probably wouldn't do. And
yeah, and I think, you know, they're always going to be walking this line between, you know, viewership and ratings and what they actually want to do. And that's, you know, that's the truth of any band, anything. You know, they have to sell albums if they're going to stay around, okay? But at the same time, I think AEW can be profitable. They already are with this new TV deal. I think they can be profitable. I think they can gain more fans by really dialing in on that outsider identity and just keeping it and sticking to it.
Oh, I agree with you. Absolutely.
But, you know, Joshi, there's outsiders, there's Ricochet, and then there's Dickochet.
Dickochet! Aha!
All right. Well, Joshi, there is someone in this world right now doing something so unexpected and so out of the box and so fun that we had to give him his own section of the show. And that would be the man that I lovingly call Dickochet.
Dickochet!
Ricochet has in the midst of a somewhat slow burn heel turn. And my God, is he killing it right now. Unbelievable stuff. How are you feeling about it, Joshi?
Oh, I love it. He's hilarious. He is so annoying. And for some reason, even though he annoys the heck out of me, I can't help but repeat what he says and laugh, just because he's so he's so into himself, and you know, says things that are condescending, and he laughs at very weird moments. But it just works. Like, I love that the fans were throwing toilet paper at him. It just shows that he's doing something right, you know, for the fans to react that quickly to him. I mean, I think, what was it, just a week ago where Meltzer was freaking out about him looking like a geek? Was that what he said?
His career was literally ended a week ago.
Yeah.
Okay, they made him look so bad, he'll never get over.
Yeah, Meltzer said they made him look like a geek and it was terrible and all of that. And fast forward a week later, and you've got fans throwing toilet paper at him and booing him, reacting to him. Isn't this what you want a heel to do?
And they're not just they're not just throwing toilet paper at him and pretending he doesn't exist because they don't care.
No,
they hate him.
do.
They hate him.
Yes.
Okay, and add to that some of his great one-liners. So, like last week when Swerve called him Trevor.
Yeah.
Ricochet's response is, "Oh, so now, okay, so we're using Wikipedia now. That's good." That was hilarious. This week when he calls Swerve Stefan, which is Swerve's first name, and his shoot first name brother, and then Swerve gets in his face because that pissed him off, and then storms off, and Ricochet goes, "That's why you don't have no house anymore."
Oh, yeah, that was great. Oh, my God, I was laughing when he said that.
It's so good.
That's why you don't...
This guy is crushing it right now. He's shown more personality in 2 weeks than he has his entire career.
Seriously.
And
Yes.
the people at the Hammerstein are throwing toilet paper at him. He's playing into it beautifully. Literally in his match against Darby, he get put in a headlock and starts screaming like a small child. Okay? Like, he is going all in on being an insufferable, cowardly heel. And I love it.
Me too.
Love it. This is going to make him a world champion. I'm telling you right now. The fans who are lukewarm on Ricochet as a babyface, they are going to hate him, and then they are going to love him. Very similarly to what they did with, like, Dom Mysterio, right? They hated Dom, right? Dom was like a fucking punchline a few years ago. He was just known as a not good wrestler, and he was getting TV time that should go to other people. And then when they leaned into that and turned him heel and did the thing with Rhea Ripley, now he's one of the most popular guys there. That's what they're doing with Ricochet, okay? And if you've been paying really close attention, Ricochet's been teasing this kind of shit for a long time.
Exactly.
I honestly couldn't like where he's going anymore. I think it's being done masterfully, and I do think in 2025 there is a very high probability he becomes world champion. My friends and I have taken to calling him Dickochet. And then when the Hammerstein crew threw toilet paper at him, I called him Shit-cochet. And now we kind of use that interchangeably. I find the Meltzer stuff, the Alvarez stuff, and all the dummies on the dirt sheets, I think it's hilarious that they cannot see how good this is for him. It's obviously his idea, and he's playing into it perfectly. So question for you. You think he's joining the Hurt Syndicate, right?
Yeah, I definitely think he will. Probably at World's End. That's my guess.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
He joins the Hurt Syndicate. He probably is going to win the C2. I think that's a very high.
I think there's a very strong possibility now, yeah.
Do they bring in Samantha Irvin, who now has made herself a huge heel on to the WWE fan base?
Why? Because she left?
Because she left and she started squabbling with people on X.
What happened?
And the WWE fan base totally... People were saying terrible things to her, and she was just arguing with them and putting them in their place, basically.
So what's wrong
she
with
didn't do anything
herself?
wrong,
Okay.
but now my thought is, why not play into it? She said she didn't want to be an announcer. She wanted to be a manager. She could exist within the Hurt Syndicate with Ricochet.
Yeah, she absolutely can.
I'm just saying, I don't know that that's going to happen, but that'd be cool. That'd be real cool.
But I mean, that's one thing I hate. It's like, okay, she left WWE.
Yeah.
She's supporting her boyfriend, and some fans hate her. Or maybe they're married. I don't know.
Yeah.
And some WWE fans hate on her because she left. That's just such a dumb reason to hate somebody. But anyway, yeah, I could see him joining the Hurt Syndicate, or his wife or girlfriend coming in and being his manager. I also want to say real quickly that I just find it a little bit sad that these journalists don't understand what's going on. I mean, first you had the whole thing with Alvarez and Toni Storm, not understanding why she was on Rampage. I think they explained that pretty well. He was still saying that it didn't make sense. Okay. And then, Meltzer just not understanding the Ricochet thing. It's kind of telling that these guys are a little bit out of touch with wrestling and these days, and they don't have the patience to see a story unfold. And yeah, I mean, you guys say you want something different, and then you're presented with something different, and you don't even want to give it the time of day. It's like Ricochet, from one week to another, we're saying very different things. Last week he looked like a geek, but most people said, hey, let's see how this goes, right? Which is rational,
right?
Very rational. And then this week, you see him getting this like amazing reaction from the crowd, and we're laughing at the stuff that he says and the way that he's acting. He's being a very good heel. It's like, I don't understand this whole thing where people see something, assume it's going a certain direction, and claim it doesn't make sense. You got to give stuff time too, Well,
and that's the thing. I think that it kind of shows that it wasn't just Alvarez and Meltzer either. It was a lot of people.
Yeah.
In that same space. Okay. So I think what it proves, if anything, is that these people watch wrestling through a filter. And Alvarez and Meltzer, to me, sound like older guys who think that they understand the audience in a way that they don't. I just think these guys are out of touch. I think some of them, and Brian Alvarez would be number one on this list, don't want to grow with the audience, okay? They have their weird old rules that they cling to about what the business is supposed to be, and that's not wise, okay? If you work for a wrestling company, you really have to consider how the world is changing if you want to be successful.
Exactly.
I'm very excited to see where Ricochet goes from here, but there is clearly a divide in the wrestling quote-unquote media about what's good and what's bad. That's not news. That's your opinion. That's not news, okay? And I think it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from here, but I think Ricochet has a lot of fire behind him right now, and I'm very excited to see where it goes.
Me too.
All right, you want to quickly touch on the C2 here?
Yeah, we could sum it up a bit.
C2! Yeah, baby! Well, I think I'm ready to say the Continental Classic absolutely fucking ruled this year. As one might imagine it did. It was fucking great. We got our winners in the finals kind of set up. The semifinals and the finals set up. Will Ospreay was the runner-up in the Gold League, or I don't even remember which league it is anymore. Was it Okada and Fletcher in the Blue League? Yeah, it was. Yeah. So Kyle Fletcher won the Blue League, and Okada was the runner-up.
Right. Yes.
Ricochet, won the Gold League, and Ospreay was the runner-up. What a great Dynamite this past week. Fantastic. Okay.
It was like a pay-per-view.
It really was like a pay-per-view. And going into it, Ricochet and Darby go to a tie, which eliminates Darby. Ricochet is hanging on by a thread because if Ospreay wins, Ospreay won his match. So Ricochet was 1 point ahead of him. And then Claudio and Claudio had the same amount of points as Ospreay at the beginning of the night. You're thinking Claudio's going to beat Commander and win this match. Claudio had beaten Darby on Collision by hitting him with a pair of brass knucks.
Yeah.
That was a really shitty finish, right? Like that didn't make anybody happy, okay? I really thought that, it had been booked so Darby could get his win over Claudio because he lost to him recently. Instead, as Darby's going to the back, he whispers something in Commander's ear and Alex Abrahante's ears. And they come down to the ring and start the match, and Claudio's dominating Commander, and you're thinking Claudio's going to win. It's going to be Ricochet and Claudio going to the semifinals, and Ospreay's going to be cashed out. But what Darby had whispered to him is, hey, my pink jacket is under the ring with a pair of brass knuckles.
Right.
Commander goes under there, grabs the knucks, and knocks the fuck out of Claudio with them, pins him, gets his one win in the C2, and it's over Claudio. It's Will Ospreay and Ricochet advancing. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. What do you think of it, Joshi?
I liked it. Just one thing. We do need Darby, Claudio part 3, and Darby needs to win that match. Because like you, I thought Darby was going to beat Claudio on Collision. That didn't happen. I was kind of on the fence about that. So we do need a third match where Darby wins that, especially if they want him to become world champion next year. He absolutely needs to get a win on over Claudio. But yeah, it was definitely shocking.
It was. Darby and Claudio was really good. And
Darby and Claudio was very good. Yes.
I didn't love the ending, but I agree with you. I 100% agree. And I think a perfect place for them to have another match would be World's End. Hasn't been announced, but I think that could be a late add to the card, would be Claudio and Darby. Yeah.
I would like that.
Yeah. I had just one complaint, and I think it's valid, is there was a lot of cheating in this one.
There was, yeah.
A lot of fuck finishes. A lot of dick kicks.
Brass knucks.
The brass knucks was too far for me. I'm just going to say that. Like, if you're going to pull a low blow and a roll up kind of thing, the way Claudio did to somebody, the way I believe Fletcher got away with that at one point. Fletcher grabbed a rope to beat Shelton Benjamin.
Yes, he did.
That's fine. That's fine. That's like conventional wrestling cheating. When you get into like brass knucks and shit, I'm not feeling that. I just, the whole point of the C2 is that there isn't that kind of thing going on. Okay. So I understood it. It did contribute to a good story with Darby and Claudio. And I do like that. Ultimately, the outcome's worth it to me. I didn't like the use of brass knucks in a tournament that's supposed to feel like may the best man win, clean finishes, etc. Wasn't my favorite. But that said, amazing tournament. Keep leaning into incredible wrestling, AEW.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons that I was not feeling AEW quite as strongly as I normally do since All Out was that the shows have mostly felt like promotional vehicles to get feuds over, and there hasn't been at least one super banger. You need to have a super banger on every episode of every show. That's AEW. That's what AEW is.
Yeah, that's exactly how I was feeling.
Exactly. And this episode, Brody and Ospreay, that was an incredible match. Will got Brody up for a fucking Stormbreaker. I mean, unbelievable shit, Ricochet and Darby was great. Okada, it was a great show. And then Fletcher and Daniel Garcia just had a very physical match. Unbelievable. That's what AEW is. That's what we want to see. We want to see great matches. I understand you can't do, 4 or 5 incredible matches every show. Do one at least.
Yeah.
That's memorable, that people will remember. And it's felt like it's been a while since it's felt like that. So keep it up. Keep it up. That's what people will tune in for. I really believe it.
That. Yes.
All right. Well, now that you've seconded, we got to first something, Joshi, and that's what we believe is going to happen at World's End. We're going to come right back with the lineup and our predictions. Joshi, are you ready to do this shit?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right. World's End takes place this Saturday, maybe the day you're listening to this as we tape on Friday. I think this looks like a pretty sneaky good card. I wouldn't say it's been promoted the best, to be honest with you. They've had matches announced for a few weeks that they really haven't pushed that hard. And I would have liked to have seen a little more. I think it's hard with the C2. Takes up a lot of time on the shows. And so maybe sometimes it's hard. Like there's a few matches, we'll talk about them as we get to them, that they could have pushed a little harder. I think people would have been more excited about it. But this is going to be a really good show. Like, undoubtedly.
Yeah. I think there will be some shenanigans.
Oh, there's going to be some shenanigans.
Oh, yeah.
There was an interesting moment on Dynamite where Christopher Daniels kind of offers to be a friend to Hangman Page. Do you remember that? I
do. I thought that was interesting.
That's weird, right? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I do think Hangman's turning babyface, though.
Or
yeah.
Is the converse true? Does Hangman join up with Moxley and the Death Riders? Do you think that's even possible?
I think it's a possibility. What do you think?
Makes more sense than turning Orange Cassidy heel.
Yeah, I think so.
Because Hangman's already a heel, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
And Hangman has been like, the champion's mine, blah, 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 blah. You know, there has been a lot of that. Yeah. So if you wanted to get a really good swerve, the biggest one you could probably pull is Hangman joining the Death Riders.
That's true. It's just, I don't know if I see Hangman Page working with Jon Moxley, though.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know, but I could kind of see him buying into what the Death Riders talk about.
That's true. It's just, I don't know. It's a possibility, though. You never know.
It is a possibility.
It
is a possibility. I think Jon Moxley's taken this one. I think this match has to feature an evolution of this story. Mox isn't ready to lose the title yet, but like they need to get it going here. Something that you and I had talked about recently is the commercial for World's End that everybody jokes looks like a commercial for a Dodge Ram.
It does.
It does. It does look like a commercial. Moxley is in the desert with a flare, and he's holding the flare up. What's the point of a flare? It's to get people's attention and signal for help or backup or whatever, right?
Right.
Do you think that's what the purpose of this is in the commercial, or does it just look cool?
See, that's the part that's challenging to me, because I tend to think these things mean something and then we don't find anything out. And then I've kind of put myself in a situation where I created a scenario in my brain, you know, so I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe the torch represents something, but maybe it's just for the sake of the commercial. It just looked cool. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't want to say it definitely has meaning, you know, because we don't even know much about the keys yet. I mean, yes, we know that it opens the one of the keys opens the briefcase, and we assume that the belt is in it, but
I don't think the belt is in it.
Well, I don't know. It might be, it might not be, but you know, we still don't even have the answers for that kind of stuff. So, I just don't know. What about you?
They've got to use this match to advance the Death Riders story. Where is this going? You need to start showing us. It's been 2.5 months of kind of a little bit forward and a lot of kind of like just kind of running in place. Exactly. And they got to stop running in place for this story to really catch. I think this story could end up being one of the all-time greats of AEW. They just got to show you where it's going.
Exactly. They haven't really done that yet.
My wild-ass prediction, you might see Kenny Omega make his presence known at the end of this match.
Yeah.
To counteract the Death Riders, I would think.
So, who do you think's winning the four-way for the AEW Men's World Title match? It's Hangman Page versus Orange Cassidy versus Jay White versus Jon Moxley.
My safe bet would be Jon Moxley.
I'm going with Jon Moxley, too.
All right.
Just because the storyline is not over. And I'm with you. I think that after the match, Kenny Omega returns. So yeah, he will drop the belt next year. Hopefully at Revolution or latest Double or Nothing. So yeah, there's no way I see him losing that belt at World's End.
No, I just don't think there's been enough build to it yet.
No.
And I think Darby's the guy who's going to drop it to. I just have that feeling.
I think that's my feeling too. Yeah. The next match is the Tijuana Street Fight for the AEW Women's World Title. So we got Thunder Rosa versus Mariah May.
Yes. This is a match I think could be a sleeper match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
These two women are both awesome. They are both great in these kinds of matches. Mariah May had that match with Anna Jay on Collision a while back that Mariah took insane bumps in that match. Thunder, is crazy and willing to do almost anything. However, I don't think it's Thunder's time right now. I think Thunder is going to come close, but she's going to lose. And I think Mariah May will continue to be your AEW Women's World Champion. What do you think, Joshi?
Mariah May's retaining for sure. I don't think there's any way that she's losing.
Do you think there's any way Toni Storm might be a factor?
So that's what I was going to ask you. I wonder if Toni shows up after the match and confronts Mariah, or I don't know, teases something. Maybe they're saving it. I don't know. Like right now, Toni is, all over the place and claims she doesn't remember. Well, it's not like she claims she doesn't remember. She thinks that she's new to AEW, but I'm not convinced that that's actually a thing. I think this might be her way of tricking Mariah May and getting her title back. So I think there's a possibility that Toni shows up right after the match. I mean, I feel like something has to happen after that, or returning Mina. I don't know.
I think it's going to be one of the two. We'll have something to do. It will be Toni or Mina. There's a lot of unresolved shit with both. And exactly. I think Mina could come back. Here's the thing. Part of me had thought Mina could come back and turn on Toni to keep her away from Mariah for a while. Nobody's going to boo Mina.
No way.
No one will boo Mina. I won't boo Mina. I mean, I love this woman. Everybody loves her. Nobody's booing Mina.
Yes.
She's like the John Cena of the women. Like she can't be a heel.
No.
So yeah, it's interesting. I think Toni's presence will be made known. There will be some, reflection that Toni's extra interested in this match. I do think it's a ruse. The fellows are friends that we did the panel with a while back. Tom from All Elite Wrap Up speculated that this is a ruse, and Toni will say it's been her greatest role is to pretend like she's Toni Storm. So it's timeless Toni Storm pretending to be Toni Storm. And
that's what I think.
That's what I think too. I think that's probably the way this plays out, but I don't know that they're ready to go there yet. Next match is for the international title. And this is a match, one of the matches I felt they could have hyped a little more.
Yeah.
Powerhouse Hobbs versus Konosuke Takeshita. This is going to be a fun match.
I think it's going to be really good. I think Takeshita retains.
Yes.
But I do want Hobbs to be booked really well. He's very good. He's a really good big guy, and he does have charisma and whatnot. So if he does lose, I just hope he doesn't get lost in the shuffle. Like I do want him to get a big push. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great match. But I agree with you. There hasn't been enough hype surrounding this one. Not sure why. Yeah.
It felt a little lost in the shuffle, and I don't want to see that with Takeshita, okay? So I'm glad he's defending on this pay-per-view, but at the same time, he's gotten no screen time, really, the last month. And that shouldn't be the case for any champion. I agree with you as well that I want to see Hobbs use this as a springboard to go somewhere more, to go somewhere deeper. I think this could be a sleeper match of the night as well. This has all the potential for it. Hobbs is great. One of the, him and Wardlow kind of have a similar thing where they kind of like will get something to sink their teeth into, and then it kind of just fades into nothing.
Yeah. Kind of tired of that pattern,
Yeah. Hobbs, you need to change that with Hobbs.
Yeah. The next match is for the TBS title match. We've got Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné, Part 2. Mm-hmm. So, will this live up to the first match? Man, I am so stoked for this. I think it's going to be amazing. I love their first match together. Mm-hmm. As for who's going to win this match, I'm going with Mercedes, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Chris wins. This is a hard one, actually. Mm-hmm. I can also see some shenanigans at play here. I can see Mercedes in a brand new faction, and those girls come out and help her win the match. Or I can see Camille coming back and either costing Mercedes the match or helping Mercedes win the match. And you get Mercedes back with Camille. She's been off TV. And it seems like Mercedes and Camille aren't friends anymore, but that could have been, they might be tricking us. You never know. But yes, I am really excited for this one. Absolutely love their first match together. Really cool that we're getting this rematch so soon. What are your thoughts, Sideblade?
I think this is the first time I think there's a 50-50 chance for Mercedes to lose, which just makes it better because you don't know what's going to happen. Mercedes is the monster slayer. She is the dragon slayer. She is the one who comes in and beats everybody who looks unbeatable. Okay, she is the top of the women's division, whether she's the world champion or not. She's the Kenny Omega of the women's division. She is the one who can do the things no one else can do. So she will not beat Chris Statlander clean if she wins. There will be shenanigans, either the formation of a new stable. She has teased interest in the Renegade Twins as possible stable members for her. Maybe it's Camille returning, or maybe, she did get a card from the Hurt Syndicate, and she's the only one who got a card from them that they've never followed back up on. Maybe they're hoping we forgot, and they're just going to drop it. Or maybe there's something to it. I'm not sure which, but I'm interested to see. My gut feeling is that Mercedes will win because I think they'll have 3 matches total, and I think Stat will win the third one.
That's my prediction too.
Yep. And hopefully that will shoot Stat up in the pecking order at AEW. Next match. The match that has the best story that everybody's looking forward to the most. MJF and Adam Cole.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't loved the story here.
Nope,
I think it's kind of squandering both guys' talents. MJF feels cold as ice right now as a character. I understand the obligation that they feel to wrap this up or to conclude it somehow. But man, we feel like a bazillion light years away from when they were on top together. And something's got to happen here if this story is going to continue, which I feel it will. And I think it's probably going to be the Kingdom turning on Adam Cole to join up with MJF. And that way, MJF can finally be the heel and Adam Cole can be the babyface. What do you think?
Oh, man. I don't really care about this storyline. I don't even really care who wins.
Ouch.
I don't mean it. Okay.
The truth is the truth, man. That's, I'm just saying, for guys this good, did you ever think you would hear yourself saying you didn't care about an MJF match?
And I hate that I'm
or
saying
Adam
that.
Cole.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about the storyline. I don't care who wins. I just, in 2025, keep these guys away from each other for a while. That's all I ask for. If Adam Cole is gonna turn heel and join MJF, which right now I'm not even sure about. I know we had talked about that being a possibility, but now I'm kind of I don't know. If they end up doing that, fine. I wouldn't be opposed to that. But this whole thing with MJF and Cole and the Kingdom, It's time to move on. I'm over it. I want to see MJF and Adam Cole with different opponents. Like, come on, when are we gonna get MJF versus Danny Garcia and Garcia gets his win back? Well, win back. He never beat MJF. Sorry, but you know what I mean. Like, he'll finally get to beat MJF. Like, that's something that they had teased when MJF came back. The first person he targeted was Danny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give us that, you know? I mean, I'm just over this whole MJF Cole Kingdom stuff.
I think it's kind of like the Death Riders thing, except far more severe, where it's like you either need to pour gas on a fire and get a blaze burning immediately, or you need to like move on. And to me, Adam Cole as a babyface really isn't that entertaining. I like Adam Cole as a heel. I'd much rather see that. I'd much rather see MJF and Adam Cole together.
Right. Yeah.
Plotting against AEW than having them as rivals. I would just much rather see that. I would prefer it if Adam Cole turned on the Kingdom and they all became baby faces and got trounced by these two, and then they moved on and did other things together.
Right. Yeah.
I think that would be better. But I'm not sure if they'll do it, but that's what I'm hoping they do.
Me too.
Who do you think wins? I think MJF.
Yeah, probably MJF.
I don't think it's time for Adam to beat him yet. If especially if Adam Cole's going to remain a babyface.
Yeah.
It's not time yet. No.
I'm with you.
X Factor is Kyle O'Reilly. Does Kyle O'Reilly pull some shit? Does Kyle O'Reilly, do these two join up and Kyle O'Reilly becomes the one to take him down? You know, that would be a cool way to build up Kyle. That'd be a really cool way to build up Kyle.
Because they need to do something with Kyle for sure. So that's a good way to use him.
Mm-hmm. The last two promoted matches, Ricochet versus Kazuchika Okada. Ricochet won the Gold League. Kazuchika Okada was the runner-up in the Blue League. Who do you think wins this one, Joshi?
This one's hard. I feel like this could go either way. I don't think Okada's winning the C2.
No.
I definitely don't see that happening. But I don't think it's we're reaching, you know, if we predict that we get Ospreay Okada in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
But with the way that they've been using Ricochet and him potentially joining Hurt Syndicate, I think he could win.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I'm 50-50. I don't know. This one, I would say I'm going to go with Ricochet only because I can see him winning the whole thing. I don't think Okada will. But I'm not 100% certain about this. This one's really hard. What about you?
I'm going Ricochet on this one. I think Ricochet is going to win through shenanigans of some type. You know, he'll cheat marginally and beat Okada. I think Okada needs to be freed of this title so that he can move in take a bigger step forward as a character. So I'm going Ricochet on this one.
All right, let's go with Ricochet. Yes.
Yeah, it's Ricochet, Shikochet, whatever you want to call him. So in the next match, Will Ospreay is a runner-up in the Gold League facing Kyle Fletcher, the winner of the Blue League. This one is actually a little harder to call for me. I am going to call Ospreay because he did lose to Kyle at Full Gear.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you don't want Ospreay probably losing back-to-back to Fletcher on pay-per-view. So I think it's interesting. I think Fletcher doesn't need to win this because he has already won the Blue League, which is a huge win, right? I mean, he's got wins over Will Ospreay. He's got wins over Kazuchika Okada. He's got wins over Daniel Garcia. You know, he's already a contender for the TNT title, international title, whatever belt you point him towards. He's an immediate favorite to take it. So does he need to be the C2 champion? I don't think so. So I think Ospreay will win. And that will lead us to the finals, which I believe will be Ospreay and Ricochet. And that'll be on the same night. So the question becomes, Do you go with a big feel-good story and put the C2 title around Will Ospreay, or do you do it with Ricochet? Who would benefit the most? In my opinion, this is going to be the moment where we find out that Ricochet and the Hurt Syndicate are very much in business together. And I think Ricochet is going to be the Continental Champion and the winner of this tournament. Joshi?
I definitely think Ospreay's beating Fletcher. I mean, Ospreay needs to win. I don't think Fletcher needs this win.
Right.
For the winner of the whole tournament, so my prediction is Ricochet versus Ospreay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who wins that match? I don't know. Because on the one hand, yes, maybe we'll find out that Ricochet is with the Hurt Syndicate and they help him win. But on the other hand, I don't know that Ospreay should take a huge loss like that. Again, it's hard. I don't know, but I will give you my prediction about what the finals will be. So Ricochet, Ospreay. As for the winner, I don't know. I feel like it could go either way. This might be a good opportunity to give Ospreay a really big win because he does need one. But then again, you know, do you want to keep building Ricochet as a heel? And oh man, this one's hard. I don't know, iBlade. I have to think about this one.
If I'm Tony Khan, I want Will Ospreay to be the world champion in 2025. I don't want him to be the Continental Champion. Okay, Ricochet stands to gain massively by winning. Ospreay goes it's a lateral move. It's kind of stays where he's at in the perception of people, right? Like, I don't think he needs to win this tournament. I think if they can pull some shit, do a big heel reveal for Ricochet and show like this dude's moving up and he's moving up fast. With a win over Okada and Ospreay, think, how much juice did Chris Jericho get out of saying, I beat The Rock and Stone Cold on the same night? I beat Okada and Ospreay on the same night. That's a legitimizer. I think it's more helpful for Ricochet to win than for Ospreay.
It's a hard one. We'll see. We'll see.
We will see. We will see. And as far as anything else going on this show, didn't they say that Private Party was going to face whoever won that tag thing at World's End?
That was my understanding, but I haven't seen the match announced.
And Andretti and Leo won that match.
Yeah.
Versus Top Flight. So that's supposed to be happening, right?
Well, that's what I understood too, but they haven't mentioned anything.
Yeah. I got to say, the use of Private Party this month has been atrocious.
Oh, it's been crap. I'm disappointed. These are your tag champs.
Yep.
You know, they need to be on TV all the time. I don't understand what the hell is going on there.
I agree with you. And then lastly, Swerve?
Right.
At all?
I don't know.
I think he'll make his presence known somehow, but I don't think he's going to be in a match. I really don't.
It doesn't seem that way right now, no. And also another thing I want to point out very quickly, I'm not sure what's going on with the trios belts. When's the last time those belts were defended?
Like months ago, before Wrestle Dream?
You know what, I'm at the point where...
Get rid of the trios titles.
If you're not going to even feature them like once a month, they're not going to be, they're not going to be on the line, not even on like one freaking pay-per-view in 4 months. Just get rid of them.
Yeah, like you'll see like Claudio or Yuta or somebody just occasionally carry it down to the ring with them.
Yeah, what's the point?
For a singles match? It's like, what are we doing here?
I agree.
That doesn't make
just
any sense.
Just get rid of these belts.
Yeah, I agree. I would get rid of the trios titles, the ROH 6-man titles, and the Continental title. And I would
too.
The Continental title should be like a trophy and you get a shot at Revolution. You're the world title contender.
That's what I would do.
That's what I would do. And then have the Owen, can still be the all-in title shot thing like they did last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got to find something. They got to make the Continental prize make more sense. Because I don't think you shouldn't have to defend a belt after you win the tournament. Like, winning the tournament was the point of it. you know?
Exactly. I'm completely on your side. They need to get rid
listen to me.
They need to get rid of those trios belts, and they need to feature Private Party on TV way more than they have been the past month. Very really disappointing in that regard. I will say that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, though the featuring of Private Party has been a disappointment, this episode has not been a disappointment. AEW has been on fire. The month of December has been pretty fucking cool. The C2 has been a massive success, and I think World's End this weekend is going to kick major ass. I think Tony likes to use this pay-per-view as a way to launch into the next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we will see some things of some significance happen on this show. But what you could do, person listening right now, is make sure you follow us on socials. Make sure you follow Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out on Threads and Blue Sky, because we will be opening voting for the Grappies this coming week. And you can also go on your podcast platform of choice, anywhere they let you rate it. Give us 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever the highest rating is. Give that to us. It always boosts you in the algorithm. If you want to leave a written review, even better. But for now, I'm Blade Daly.
I'm Joshi G.
Pro wrestling forever. Get the hell out of here, Jack Pay!